India is not a puppet. Vikram Doraiswamy's bold response to the West on friendship with Russia. Imagine someone telling you, shut down your shop, because my enemy is benefiting from you. Would you actually do it? Now think, this is exactly what some of the world's powerful nations are asking India to do. They want India to ignore its energy needs, stall its industries, just because they have issues with India trading with Russia. But India's reply was so firm, so full of pride, that the entire world stopped and listened. In an interview, India's High Commissioner to the UK, Vikram Doraiswamy, gave a response that wasn't just an answer, it was a statement of intent. A declaration of the new India. An India that will no longer be used as anyone's pawn. An India that chooses its path based on its national interest, not external pressure. And today, we're going to dive deep into this topic. But before we begin, if you're new to our channel, make sure to subscribe so you never miss any of our powerful updates. Now, without further delay, let's begin today's discussion. When Vikram Doraiswamy spoke with confidence, it wasn't just diplomacy. It echoed the voice of a self-reliant nation. He said, "Do you expect us to shut down our economy?" The question was simple, but the impact was profound. For the first time, India made it crystal clear. It will no longer sacrifice its national interests under pressure, whether it comes from the US, Europe, or any global alliance. Doraiswamy delivered a powerful, yet straightforward truth. India is the world's third largest energy consumer. We import over 80% of our energy needs. What exactly do you want us to do? Shut down our economy? That single line shifted the tone of the entire conversation. Today, India is not just a developing nation, it's a decisive voice on the global stage, one that refuses to compromise on its energy security. The countries protesting India's position are primarily European nations, which recently imposed new sanctions on Russia. These sanctions have even affected India's Vardina refinery, in which Russia's Rosneft holds a stake. And this comes from the same Europe that continues to import refined oil and rare earths from Russia, yet lectures India for doing the same. Doraiswamy boldly called out this hypocrisy. He said, "Many European countries buy refined oil from us, but then we're questioned for buying from Russia. Isn't that a bit odd?" In that moment, it wasn't just a diplomat speaking, it was a sovereign voice declaring that India will decide for itself based on logic, fairness, and its national interest. India's stance on Russia is not just about energy, it's a reflection of its economic self-reliance, military strategy, and an independent foreign policy. Vikram Doraiswamy emphasized that when Western nations refused to supply India with weapons, it was Russia that stood by India. And this wasn't a relationship built on convenience, it was forged on trust and long-term strategic cooperation. While India's neighboring countries armed themselves with Western weapons and prepared for conflict, Russia acted as a protective shield for India. So today, when questions are raised about India-Russia relations, India's response is not only diplomatic, it's deeply rooted in history. Doraiswamy firmly reiterated that India's friendship with Russia is not a short-term deal. It is a decades-old strategic alignment closely tied to India's national security. India no longer takes kindly to external pressure or policy interference. There was a time when India was seen as a nation that simply tried to maintain balance. But today, India is seen as a country that sets its own policy agenda. What Doraiswamy expressed wasn't just a rebuttal. It was a declaration of India's evolving foreign policy doctrine, one driven not by sentiment, but by logic, strategy, and national interest. What's particularly ironic is that while Europe expects India to stop buying oil from Russia, those same European nations continue importing rare earth materials and other critical goods from the very same sources. Doraiswamy boldly exposed this double standard by asking, "Can we also start testing your loyalty?" It was a direct question and a sharp, unapologetic rebuke. Through his words, Doraiswamy didn't just defend India, he defined a new India, one that remembers its allies, prioritizes its own people, and refuses to bow even when the world's most powerful nations try to push it down. India is now making decisions in the interest of its citizens. Whether it's the crisis of energy prices or the pressure of the global supply chain, India has always maintained balance. Be it buying discounted oil from Russia or increasing domestic refining capacity, every step taken by India is rooted in strategic thinking. Doraiswamy mentioned that India is now the fourth largest crude oil refiner in the world, and even Europe buys oil from India. In such a scenario, preaching to India, isn't that a double standard? It is also being said that India is part of a Russia-India-China agreement. But Doraiswamy clearly dismissed this claim. He said that GRT was just a trilateral dialogue platform, not any military or economic alliance. It was never part of any conspiracy, and there hasn't been any such meeting for a long time. India's clarity is evident here too, leaving no room for doubt. The message of India's foreign policy to the world is now very clear. India will no longer be a puppet of any global power bloc. India will make its own decisions, and its priority will always be the interest of its citizens, energy security, and self-reliance. India's relationship with Russia continues because it is based on trust and partnership, not on pressure or fear. Just think, if India starts making decisions according to others' wishes, would it be able to meet the energy needs of 1.4 billion people? Would it be able to keep its industries running? Would it be able to establish itself as a global superpower? The answer is no. And that's why India has now said it loud and clear, we are not a puppet. Today, when the world appears divided into two blocks, America versus Russia, West versus East, India's path stands distinctly apart. It walks the path of national interest and considers that its true duty. Doraiswamy's words prove that India will no longer be pressured or bored. It will stand firm with its own decisions, its own principles, and its own priorities. That is why, as India continues to solidify its place on the global stage, its independent foreign policy is becoming an example for the world. India will be neither a puppet of the West nor a pawn of the East. It will remain India on its own path with its own self-respect. Doraiswamy's interview wasn't just a response. It was a declaration of a self-reliant India, one that no longer operates on others' cues, but speaks to the world based on its own wisdom and national interest. The country that once only listened now speaks. The one that once bowed now stands tall. So the next time someone says India should do this or shouldn't do that, remember, India is no longer seeking advice. It's seeking partnerships. And true partnerships are based on equality, where no one is bigger or smaller, where no one is a puppet.
If our video has taught you something new, do not forget to like and share this video so that this information can reach others as well. Your likes and shares are a source of inspiration for us. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let us know in the comments. It will be our honor to answer your questions and listen to suggestions. And yes, if you like our content, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you stay connected with every new story. Thank you. GRT Business YouTube channel sources, news from various news agencies, opinion polls and other public sources. We try to ensure that every report and summary is accurate and verified, but we are not responsible for any dispute or error. Our aim is only to provide you with accurate information.